Wako huku, gava iko huku. Sisi tutashikamana.
But are Kenyans even willing to do so?
They are not willing, but they are being forced to will. Ushaona mtu anataka kupigana, lakini unampiga paka anasema, "Ai, usheka paka kwa kona." Paka ikipita hapo unaweza ipiga matoke ianguke huko. Haitarudi juu inaweza enda. But ukiweka paka kwa kona hivi. Kenya kwanza. Kenya kwanza. Be very careful, tread carefully. Binadamu, you can only push them too far. Na serikali ya Ruto na wasukuma kwa ukuta. Wana tax gari, wana tax mkate, wana tax kila kitu. Mafuta juu, stima juu, unga juu, sukari juu, mafuta ya kupika juu. Saizi YouTubers wanataka kwa tax. Haya. Mnasemanga wa Kenya, Kenyans cannot unite, Kenyans cannot.
As youth, unapata mtu anafanya kazi but ana earn 10,000 ama 15,000 ama 20,000. The same money the government is coming for it. Ukinunua mkate na 100, pesa imeisha. And when they advertise for jobs, when we apply, ukifika interview unaulizwa, unajua nani amekutuma? Na ukifaulu kupenya hiyo interview, huko mwisho utaulizwa, before you sign the contract, wekelea hapa 100,000, wekelea hapa 200,000. Personally, I come from Baringo County. You know how Baringo County is poor. Our parents are very poor. So ukipigia mzazi umwambie wamesema unataka 100,000. Mzazi anakuambia sasa tutapata hapo hiyo pesa sahi. These politicians are making our lives very unbearable. Wanajitajirisha when sisi we are poor. Sasa tufanye aje? I finished school in 2016. Niko na degree yangu imekaa kwa nyumba imelala. Cobwebs zinajenga nyumba. Sijawahi pata kazi mpaka sasa. And then you people go into offices and say you're creating jobs for us. Ukiapply kazi unaambiwa ati in fact they go to a point of saying ati uwainulie skirt, uwape mguu ndio you sleep with them, so they give you a job. Sasa tufanye aje? Mnataka tufanye aje nyinyi viongozi? Tufanye aje? Unaitwa interview, hauna hata fare. Unakopa, unaenda hiyo interview, unapata hujapata kazi. You now remain with the task of paying the debt. Sisi vijana, we are living very pathetic lives. I'm so disappointed. Kwanza for myself, 8 years after campus, watu kwa village wanaulizana kwani huyu hakusoma? Mtu ulisoma ukapita vizuri, makaratasi iko, lakini hakuna kazi. Tufanye nini? Tufanye nini? Viongozi mtuambie. You people pocket millions of money as salaries every month. Na kuna Mkenya hajakula kitu. Kuna Mkenya hajakula kitu. There are people who eat only 1 meal a day. Hanyi mnapaka blue band mkate, mnaongeza jam na mnaongeza asali juu. Na kuna mtoto Kenya, Turkana, hajakula, anaenda kunyonya ng'ombe, anaenda kukamulia maziwa yenye imebaki after kukamuliwa asubuhi. Nyinyi mnalala kwa kitanda yenye ina swing. Watoto wa Kenya wanalala kwa ngozi ya ng'ombe. Kwa ngozi ya ng'ombe. Halafu mnasema mnatutetea vitu gani? Mnatutetea vitu gani? MPs wote waende.
Siku itafika very soon yenye wa Kenya watakuja waungane na Eric. Na itakuwa organic. Sitakuwa nimewaita, wataona. Washaanza kuona. Kuna moja niliona hapa hata screenshot na kuambia it's a lawyer, aliandika something very deep. Alisema very soon Kenyans will join Eric. Sasa watamka wakasirike. Waseme ai Eric sio kwa namba pin location. Kitu kifanyika washaanza kuniambia Eric ini mbaya pin location. Tuende tuandamane. So hiyo muda atakuja. Mimi sina haraka. Pole tu. Kwa sasa niko peke yangu.
Maundu ni meri gukua kana kuhotana.
It is the people who must save the environment. It's the people who must make their leaders change. So we must stand up for what we believe in.
Narudia, do not. Inafikaga mahali unasukuma watu kwa wall. Tumeongea maneno ya unga, tumeongea maneno ya mafuta. Solve any. Do not push young people in this country. You will regret it. I told you some of us are willing to put our lives down. Wengine wetu mtatuua, tukufe, ndio vijana wakuwe free. Some of us will die very soon. And our names will go to the grave, but you will not tax young people. Kama ni sacrifice mnatafuta, sacrifice. You can only push people so far. William Samoei Ruto, ulijiita hustler. Ukasema ukiingia serikali itakuwa ya hustler. Ya bodaboda wako jela. Wamama wamefungiwa nyumba. Wakenya
hakuna kuogopa. Twende.
Sisi hatuna shida na wewe. Sisi tunataka tukusikize. I was not on Tuesday. Na mimi sikiji. Pia kwa mimi.
Over 20 people are dead. 39 are missing.
I have no blood on my hands.
Why do you have to give your wife money? Why do you have to give Rigath's wife money? There's no money in this country.
So let me just get this straight. So a couple of weeks ago, we have Kamala Harris shaking hands with President Ruto of Kenya. Then you have the state dinner with Biden here in the United States. Then that president goes back to Kenya, creates legislation to tax the Kenyan people up to 36%. It's up to a 36% increase in order for them to pay the IMF. And a part of that legislation is also saying that they could appropriate land. They could take land from the Kenyan people as pretty much like a payment to the IMF. Like, that's embarrassing. Because, and on top of that, there was actual congressional leaders from the United States that were there while this was being passed. And now there's riots and multiple people have died. Dozens of people have been harmed and hurt, tear gassed, all for a recolonization project that the United States just facilitated and had President Ruto, who is a sellout to his people, carry out. They must know they're gonna lose in November, because do y'all know social media exists? Oh yeah, y'all know, because y'all wanted to be banned.
They want to make a call in Kenya especially to Comrade the President William Ruto, stop doing what you are doing. Utamaile Ajaba Nabarena, I march forward to the victory of our people. The revolution in Kenya is guaranteed that under the EFF, this country will be the better. Stand and make sure that our people understand that they need to be counted. You must be counted. You must be part of history. You must make sure that you are one of the people who are going to deliver economic freedom in our lifetime. Freedom in our lifetime. Amanda!
Sisi tunataka kuambia hiyo budget haiwezi kupita kwa bunge. Na ikipita kwa bunge miezi mitatu baadaye tutaibadilisha iwe ni budget ya mwananchi wa kawaida.
Ruto, why are you killing our children? Kwa nini unaua watoto wetu Ruto?
1 year 10 months. Ruto amechukua deni ya 5.2 trillion.
We are saying no to that financial bill. Hatutaki. Ruto aambiwe finance bill si kubwa kuliko watoto.
It is the people who hire and fire government.
Nae wabunge wananunuliwa kama wanawake. Wabunge ya Kenya wamekuwa wanawake. Si tafadhali tuvae suruali sisi wa mama.
The first thing you saw in Kenya was youth confronting the politicians. The next one that is coming, they will confront the pastors. Watch out.
And First Lady Rachel Ruto's scheduled fundraiser at a church event on Sunday has been cancelled following online uproar generated by a spirited campaign by youthful protesters.
Except they repent. The way they enter and carry mace.
And right there I can see a nominated member of parliament from Baringo, Bishop Koskei there, being escorted by...
They will enter and carry pulpit. If you watch, it almost happened.
Started with an invitation card for a fundraiser for the completion of the Lavington United Church circulating online.
It almost happened even now.
A text message from one of the aggrieved persons reads in part, "Good evening, Reverend Mutahi. I am the person who started the campaign to get rid of politicians from the church pulpit in Kenya. I see you have invited Mrs. Rachel Ruto to your church for a fundraiser. This message is to notify you that we are coming for the fundraiser. God bless you.
So those are we call it the bad pain of the Josiah generation.
The backlash by a section of Kenyans compelling the Lavington United Church to cancel the fundraiser
is a bad pain. You know, when a woman is in labor, she begins to have the pain.
Among the demands by protesters is the barring of politicians from making use of religious installations for political advancement.
So Kenya is in labor to bring forth the Josiah generation. So those are the pains we are seeing as a Gen-Z protest. That is the pain, because the woman is already in labor.
The cancellation coming moments after the Anglican Church of Kenya, Diocese of Eldoret, SK St. Matthew's Cathedral, cancelled a planned fundraising event scheduled for Sunday 30th June for the completion of a perimeter wall and construction of a Sunday school church. A number of leaders, including politicians, had been scheduled to attend, according to a poster shared online.
The nation is in labor to bring forth the Josiah generation.
This bill can actually spark a serious revolution in this country. This bill, I have to caution you. This bill can actually be the spark that will lead a revolution that will never be ended. The hour of reckoning has now come.
All in a day's work, my good friend, you're taxed from the minute you wake up to the minute you go to bed. And you know what? These are not pre-existing taxes.
These are new taxes.
These are all new taxes.
Everybody is complaining. And everybody is complaining on serious issues. Manufacturers of everything, including diapers and sanitary pads, are complaining. Everything is more expensive. Even having your money in your bank is more expensive. Removing it is more expensive.
Ndio ni bottom up. Sasa mnangojea bottom up explanation nyingine. Tumekubaliana ni bottom up. Tuanze hapa chini ndio tuinue kila mtu. Hebu nione watu wa bottom up hapa.
Judge people from what they do, not by what they say. 1.1 billion shillings is going to be used to upgrade the Deputy President's house.
I'm here for Kenya, I'm here for my people, I'm here for your life.
We have a youth fund that, if not properly handled, can
Nani? Wababa muachane na wasichana wetu. Nadhani jua tuna pesa no. Muachane na wasichana wetu wababa. Hii maandamano bwana, unatoka kwa tear gas unagongwa na matako. Unashinda reject kama uerect dawa ama usuffocate.
Mimi nakwambia vijana wenye wako huko wameweza. We are peaceful eh. You turn to your left and ready. Mwingine ako na Mashup. I'm telling you. Hi daddy.
Ngoja. Madam ngoja stand. Hello. Yes, hiyo. Mwa, kitu sweet. Aleta foreign bana. Flavor ni gani? Flavor ni gani? Wameleta bana. Avishiki.
Muda imechoka, tupeo pesa tuame Kenya. Mtu anaenda na Burundi anaenda na 200 million.
In my heart there's hope, but all the hope I got, it lives in you.
William Ruto, you are going home!
Give me freedom, give me reason, give me something. In my heart there's peace, but all the peace inside of you. Give us back the love, give us back the hope. We'll take anything.
We are peaceful, hatuna mawe. Tupeo pesa tuame Kenya. Power to the people. Ruto, you're a motherfucking coward.
Mheshimiwa, ona mwenyewe na macho yako umeiba mali pesa, sasa damu pia.
Mwenyekiti, malaya nini? Acha nikalie. Mimi ndio mwenyekiti. Sio malaya. Mimi.
Washajua.
safari yetu, undugu ndio nguvu, chuki na ukabila hatutaki hata kamwe, lazima tuungane tuijenge.
The wealthy and privileged who live in a heaven that's been built by your labor and your suffering have managed to convince you that your time to live in heaven will happen after you die. The wealthy and privileged have managed to convince you that suffering, a suffering that they themselves don't experience, a suffering that they themselves depend on to live their wealthy lifestyles, is just a normal part of life, is just God's plan, is just a test so you'll get into heaven later. This quote perfectly summarizes religion. The people that built their heaven on your land are telling you yours is in the sky. The more I see religion for what it truly is, a tool that is used to manipulate and control an entire population by oppressors, the more I can't unsee it. Who really benefits from you believing that when you die, you'll go to heaven? Who benefits from you believing that suffering is just a normal part of life? Who actually benefits from you believing in these things? Do you yourself benefit, or do your oppressors benefit?
Factories are used to employ people who are the biggest dealers of investment companies in Kenya. We, the political class. What happened to Kenya Airways? Look at it now. Smelly, filthy. It was the pride of Africa. Who runs Kenya Power? Why are we not told who are the owners of the independent power suppliers of this country? Why are we not being told who owns our national parks? But you hear money is being stolen by none other than the elites and the political class. These people out here are tired. These people are tired. I was crying this morning today because we are messing up a good thing. We are messing up this country. Who wants to be a refugee? And there is enough for you people to eat, so long as you eat with manners. The revenue we collect is enough to run 8 African countries: Kenya, Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania. You go to Congo, you go to South Sudan, you go to Somalia, and you go to Ethiopia. That's what our goddamn budget is. Just manage it, don't steal it. A few people are stealing too much. These kids out here, they know everything. They know your houses, they know where your kids go to school, they know which properties of land you have. Why must somebody have 4 million acres of land to his name? What happened to our mentality? Then we pretend and run to churches talking about Christianity, how Jesus. Do you understand what you're dealing with? The people out here don't even believe in God anymore. The people out here are tired of the lies, the religious organizations. And I have to say this, I'm a Catholic. I was so happy I saw the Papa Nocio talk about the issues of a country. Let us forget that we can run this country as tribes. Let us accept that there is a new sheriff in town. That sheriff is the GEN-Z. They are partyless, they are tribeless, they don't have money, they just have bundles and a phone. And they'll stop this country tomorrow. I would like to plead with the members of this house when it comes to looking at what role our committees are playing. Look at what happens. I want to thank my brothers Sifuna, my brother Cherargei. I want to thank Madam Lulu. These are, many of you may not know, we've never discussed it here. How many times we've been threatened that we are raising issues about county governments losing billions. I mean, who doesn't know how many governors own apartments and houses?
Fighting for Kenya as a country, but fighting for Africa as a continent. Africa has been under colonization since time immemorial, since time and again. As the powers left, they left specific families in powers, thinking they would control the entire African continent. But time has come. Kenya is proving we can be able to pave a way for change, and change is coming. I tell you, change is coming. Wave of change is coming to Africa, and this is just the beginning. I am ready to die. Today is my birthday. Happy birthday to me. I'm ready to die on my birthday. As a 23-year-old kid, on a day nikamilishe masiku zangu na nikufe kama nina miaka zangu. What's your name? My name is Sydney Arisi Mugasia. I run a company, Lodon Consultancy Firm. My workers are at work at the moment. They're telling me, boss, fight for us. Boss, fight for us. And I will fight for them. I will die for them. That's all I have to say. Penny wengine coverage.
itampandishia maisha. Kwani tutakula barani?
Na hii mawe umebeba ni ya nini?
Hii mawe kwanza ndio kurusha barani.
Nimetaka na bendera ya parliament. Nimetaka na bendera
ndani sana. Uchunge simu.
Umebonga na chef. Sasa ina kama uko nishtua tu ile bomba moja. Tulipatiwa bikiti za bure. Tulipatiwa bikiti za bure hapa. Sasa tukule mapike.
You'd imagine that probably would have been the safest place to be on that day.
Right.
The presence of Parliament. And so when it was breached, and guys came telling us, you guys have to leave. They are here. We thought it was some kind of a joke. And then within a minute, they were actually here. So I left my seat. Then I remember that I removed my jacket and my phone and put on the table. No, we have now left the chamber and at the restaurant. So we're actually eating. And so personally I left my jacket and put my phone on the table. And when I left, they had left both of the phone and the jacket. So I came back for them and followed everyone else. And I asked where the tunnel was and went down to the tunnel, came up onto the new building and onto the streets and walked home.
You actually walked?
I walked. I think I walked up to Nyayo Stadium and took a boda from there. And then went home. Because my car was marooned in there, and actually when I picked it later, all the windows had been smashed.
Yeah.
The back screen and the windows of the car had been smashed.
What was going through your mind at that time?
Frankly speaking, and I say this with conviction, the young guys did the right thing. They brought us back to life.
Anguka nao itabaki meflo na vibe. Anguka nao koko single for now.
So the youth of Kenya can make Kenya politics to be what we want them to be.
Sukate call niko chomba ya G. Mina jua utakuwa irizo riris. Acha ni kushow kwanza form ya Didon. Nishashika mpua na twende chini kwa chini akiwa adi na mimi. Setu nasikiza Shin City tuna feel free. Teka video na post pale NGC. Jina ni content kurasi ni talent G. Anguka nao
to make more concessions.
Anguka now, check it. Anguka now, twende down low now. Stand up to your feet, mikono juu alafu click. Tuliza pesa alafu one leg. Anguka now, one leg. Anguka now. Anguka now.
And the people
Anguka now. Anguka now.
I am grateful.
Anguka nayo kama uko na new catch. Anguka nayo kuna pati na magwash. Anguka nayo round tu kwa hii bash. Anguka nayo ati, anguka nayo ati, anguka nayo, anguka nayo, anguka nayo ati.
And following the passage of the bill,
ati, anguka nayo,
the country witnessed
ati, anguka nayo, na katika msupa webanjuka, cheza chini ukikwendezo matuta. Anguka nayo tupika tushaitika, mdagi matisho za wadagi step. Ama darling, tambu serikali, juni serikali, tamka asali, simnajua ni nani, flow mshati, ki, don medunga up down me.
I send my condolences to the families of those who lost their loved ones in this very unfortunate manner. Consequently, having reflected on the continuing conversation around the content of the Finance Bill 2024, and listening
anguka nayo mtupa me feel relaxed. Anguka nayo kama uko na new catch. Anguka nayo kama una pati na magwash. Anguka nayo round tu kwa hii bash. Anguka nayo
Finance Bill 2024.
Anguka nayo
I concede.
Anguka nayo
and therefore
anguka nayo
I will not sign.
Anguka nayo kama uko na new catch. Anguka nayo kuna pati na magwash. Anguka nayo round tu kwa hii bash.
Because you feel so much oppressed. We as the young generation,
because you've got energy, you must demand that things must be done and they must be done now.
I'm out today because I think this government has decided that they own this country. They don't own this country. We actually own Kenya. And I think that's what they're forgetting. So we're just here to remind them that Kenya belongs to all of us.
And the elders will always drag their feet because they've been there like you, being impatient and then deciding, these things are what they are, anyway, they won't change. You must come and push them to change.
But I think it's time for Kenya to change because they're used to our parents who just never questioned them. Our parents were scared of them. We are not scared of you.
You must never ever allow elders to make mistakes without you, the young ones, calling them out.
We want to stand out for ourselves. We as the Gen Z, we want to determine how our future will be ruled by we ourselves, the Gen Z. We are not here ready to be manipulated by the so-called President of the Republic of Kenya, Mr. William Samoei Ruto.
So the youth of Kenya can make Kenya politics to be what you want them to be.
And it shall subsequently be withdrawn, and I have agreed with these members that becomes our collective position.
No community comes to power. Even today it's not a community in power. It's an individual and his cronies. Kibaki era, it was not a community in power.
No.
It was Kibaki and the cabinet he chose, which served every Kenyan. Even when there was a coalition government and issues of corruption started coming back, it was still not about a community, it was the country. And you can see even the corruption was shared by the entire coalition government. So the two campaigns that have been ethnicized and the worst regime that has ruled with an ethnic lens, the KKK, where you can appoint over 50 heads of parastatals from one ethnic community, where you can openly say that a government will belong to shareholders from two ethnic communities. You know, it's still a shareholders government, by the way. But it doesn't mean those ethnic communities are the net beneficiaries. It is cronies from those two communities. The ordinary rural person or even urban person, urban Kalenjin is suffering like any other Kenyan. The taxation burden is on them. If they are not entrepreneurs who wouldn't care about how much is being taxed because they are getting undeserved money, they are suffering just like anybody. The average people you inspect in spite of the declaration by a certain Gachagua that is a shareholder's government. And people have not felt any of that.
The church let you in, then you probably a minor. Another side note, Maseo KTSGR is expensive, nali uncomfortable as fuck. Ukipingisha box, uingi box ya ballot. Too much chat, no action, kaparo. Hujui ya nyanya, hujui ya carrot. Tunapela sapa ka Judas Iscariot. Ilianza mandamano, alafu fertilizer. Kenya ni scandal, nyonya colonizer. Usino pain killer na tulilazimishwa Pfizer. Natupima fala too long, now we wiser. Reject your bill, reject your bill, reject your bill.
An American will fly from Boston in Massachusetts,
reject your bill.
6 hours later,
reject your bill, reject your bill, reject your bill.
No yellow fever certificate, no passport, no new telephone number.
Reject your bill, reject your bill, reject your bill.
255 having migrated from 254. I'm dealing with Tigo, and even Tigo is not Tanzania. I'm dealing with Airtel, even Airtel is not Tanzania. I'm dealing with Vodafone. We own nothing.
When Kenya has made noise about Adani, Kenya Kwanza and Ruto refused to listen. And it's important Kenyans understand why William Ruto cancelled Adani. It's not for love of country or the noise that Kenyans were making. And Kenyans understand this. The indictment in the US is about this. That Adani was bribing foreign officials, not US, foreign countries, to secure contracts. Okay? Once has bribed to secure contracts to improve its stocks so that US investors, venture capitalists can buy or invest into the Adani project. You understand? It was about you bribe someone somewhere, then you show your portfolio is this huge to encourage a US citizen to invest in your business. So obviously, once an indictment of that nature has been done, of course there'll be a list of all the countries where Adani has contracts, and Kenya will be one of them. And the US Department of Justice will be asking, were there Kenyan officials who are bribed to secure this contract? And the US will be looking direct, the courts and the DOJ will be looking direct at the Kenyan issue. And they will find somewhere the Kenyan officials who've been treated by Adani. In fact, some are even saying that possibly the jet that Ruto used to America was from the Adani group. How will you explain a jet taking a president to America? If that jet belonged to Adani, he went with this to America, the same Adani will have signed contracts with Kenya. What will be the answer? So these are questions which will be asked. So William Ruto was not doing this thing for the love of the nation. William Ruto was doing this thing to save his own skin. Because if it can be shown that somewhere there is a nexus between Adani and him, Adani bribing him or giving him a gift or inducing him materially, and then Adani has gotten contracts, that will be treated as a bribe. And William Ruto would have become a named person of interest in the proceedings. That is why they haste to cancel all the contracts. And as it is, if Adani is in shift share, in whichever shape or form, if they are there, I assure you, Kenyans don't even have to do anything. That one will be cancelled on its own. Yeah, the indictment of Adani, it rarely do you find those kind of indictments being done. So, Adani and Kenya is done. Whoever brought Adani to Kenya, we should tell him, thank you very much. You're a true patriot. You brought Adani to Kenya for the world to see that we have a system here that is corrupted. That man, whoever it is, thank you. Your mission is accomplished. Adani is the one going to bring.
Mimi nataka nikuulize, ukiangalia wakati wa Kibaki, kulikuwa na mtu ambaye alikuwa anaitwa John Michuki, ambaye alikuwa analainisha transport sector, analainisha. Tukakuwa na serikali ya Uhuru Kenyatta, tukakuwa na ule anaitwa Matiang'i, akaanza na information ICT, akanyorosha mambo ya ICT. Akamaliza akaenda mambo ya education, akanyorosha. Akatoka pale akaenda kwa interior, akanyorosha. Lakini sasa sisi tukijiuliza, kwako kama waziri wako hapa wa wewe ulichagua, ni nani ambaye ana call shots pale? Wote wanakaa mikebe. Sasa unajiuliza nini? Kwa sababu unauliza huyu mwingine ulikuwa umefuta ata transport ati imefail, ukamleta kwa sports, yeye ndio umemleta kwa interior. That means ndio unaona vijana wanakuheshimu, wanakudisrespect. Unaangalia ule ambaye alikuwa ana oversee vijana wetu wakitupwa kule Kware, alafu wanatupwa pale, and up to today we have no record of who killed those young people. Hata pale bunge kijana alishutiwa tukiwa pale, there is no any police who have been accounted for the death that happened that day. Na alafu ule ambaye alikuwa pale umemleta kuwa ndio naibu wa rais. Ndio unaona vijana wanajiuliza, wanakuandika na kuandika katika mitandao. Nataka nikuulize rais, toka katika hii mitandao, kutoka over promising people, go and work. And these young people will respect you. Mimi nikiwa nimesimama hapa leo, tuko hapa na mama ambaye mtoto wake pia alifariki, alikuwa abducted. Mama yuko hapa. Na huyo mtoto alipotea mwezi wa Oktoba na akapatikana baadaye kwamba amekufa, na pia yeye yuko hapa siku ya leo. Nataka niulize hao viongozi wa Kenya Kwanza ama wa broad based. Nataka tumekuwa kule Bungoma, wanasema kwamba watu wanajiabduct. Na reports iko hata leo hii. Mama yuko hapa, mtoto wake alishikwa, alikuwa Kenyatta University na akauliwa, alikuwa Tadia, na yuko hapa na alikuwa na watoto wawili peke yake. Na wewe uko pale kwa sababu mnalipwa pesa kuongea na kutetea serikali. Kimani Ichung'wah na timu yako na wakina Waluke ambao mnaongea kwa sababu wewe umeondolewa kesi ambayo ulikuwa umeiba mahindi. Sasa unaongea venye unaongea bila kuheshimu zile familia ambazo zinalia leo hii watoto wao kuwa abducted na hajulikani mahali ambapo wako. Nataka niulize kwa heshima kubwa rais wa Kenya ya kwamba sisi sio kama Uganda, sisi sio kama Rwanda ambao wamekaliwa kama chapati, wamekaliwa kama kuku. Sisi tuko na freedom of expression na lazima tu exercise hiyo, kwa sababu mimi juzi nilisema sisi vijana ndio tunajua this nation belongs to us. Kenya hii ikiporwa, vijana ndio wataumia for the rest of their life. And that is why mimi wakati nilisimama kura nilikuwa kijana mdogo, nilikuwa boy kijana Gen-Z. Na mimi hapo niambia tuende simama kura. Wakati nilitembea humu nikaona uongozi ambao ulikuwa hauko uongozi ambao unasaidia watu jinsi mimi nilikuwa nafikiria watu wangu wanaweza saidiwa. Ndio nikaamua kusimama kura ya ubunge, na kupitia kwa neema ya Mwenyezi Mungu wamama wakaniona huruma, wakasema mtoto huyu anateseka, anafanya nini? Wakanipatia nafasi ya kuwaongoza. Ndio nasema ya kwamba hawa vijana hawa mwenye mnawaambia wazazi wao waongeleshe ni watu wakubwa, ni watu ambao wamesoma, na ni watu ambao wanataka nchi ya Kenya iende mbele. And now we are here to announce it to the nation ya kwamba as we the young people, we are not going to stay quiet and to stay in silent. Watoto wetu, vijana wenzetu wakiendelea kuwa abducted. Na kama itakuwa hivyo, tutaanzisha revolution, tutaanza kudemonstrate. Hata ile ya finance bill itakuwa mchezo, na watafanya maneno Ichung'wah ulikimbia na utakimbia sana, na kuambia ndugu yangu. Kando na hiyo, mimi nataka niulize mambo yetu ya SHA. Juzi mlikuja mkatoa NHIF. Hii NHIF mlitoka wamama kwa na complain about it. Mmetuletea mambo ya SHA. With my investigation ambayo tumefanya juzi, hata ile SHA ambayo mnasema inaenda kusaidia hatuoni, kwa sababu hiyo information is only iko tu na rais, wewe ndio unajua, na CS peke yake, lakini the stakeholders, the system wale hawajui ni muhindi mmepatia hiyo kuregister watu kwa SHA, na elewi system ya Kenya ya health inaenda namna gani. Na hii tunangoja iflop, alafu tutauliza tena, vijana kimuuliza muanze ku abduct venye mnafanya. Lakini miaka imebaki miaka 2, miaka 1.5 na watu wanarudi kwa debe. Baba ureva ngaruto utaambia nini wananchi tumewafanyia nini? Otherwise, asanteni sana. Na mimi pia nataka niulize Mheshimiwa Timo, mfanyie wananchi kazi kama county government, na mambo ingine hii tuachane nayo. Mfanyie mambo ya chama ati governor kutembea kufungua maofisi ati ya ODM sijui nini. Hawa mama hawakuli ODM, wanataka maendeleo. Pita Salasia Mungu la maendeleo na support. Mbona na wataka asanteni sana. Niko na mchango wangu hapa. Najua tulikuwa tumechanga kidogo.
History is repeating itself. In the late 80s, early 90s, during the reign of President Daniel Arap Moi, the government then destroyed the economy and became very intolerant and dictatorial. And when the people of this region started saying no, a criminal gang was formed to come and punish the people because they were saying no to bad governance. That gang, na huyo kiongozi wa hiyo gang alikuwa kijana mdogo then, kaitwa na Moi akaambiwa ude hiyo kikundi. Years later, history is repeating itself. The same gang leader ametafutwa na serikali na ameletwa hapa to force the people of this region to accept the president and his deputy. Wamekuja hapa 31st. Huyo kiongozi ametangaza mchana that amepewa kazi na serikali ya kuzunguka katika mlima Kenya to force the people to accept the president and his deputy and to escort the leaders ambayo wamekataliwa na watu wakuja mashinani. Usirudie ile moja alifanya kutuma hicho kikundi kuja kuangaisha watu ya mlima Kenya.
Retreat, tuna re-strategize, tukirudi itafanyika. Every time Eric Omondi goes quiet, be scared. Tume retreat, tuna re-strategize, tukirudi itafanyika by force. Because we are the people who voted you. We have the numbers. We have the clips. Vitulisema. Start with those things. So tukinyamaza, don't take our silence for stupidity or weakness.